Substitution for Spurs, replacing number 19 Dominic Solanke, number 11 Matthias Tech.
And good win today. How do you feel the players managed it?
Yeah, good win. First half I thought was excellent. Yeah, we're really disciplined, really well organised. Didn't really allow them. They had one chance, and then we always looked a threat going forward. You know, it's probably as threatening as we've looked. You know, we scored 2 goals, had the one disallowed. Ramsdale's pulled off some good saves, and really pleased. Second half, not so much. We became way too passive without the ball and not aggressive enough. And then with the ball, we kind of got sloppy and not, I think, in possession as well as we should have. So, some improvement there. But, good win, 3 goals, and importantly, everyone got through it okay.
And everyone's come through all right. Lots of decisions for you to make going into this one as well, with another game on the horizon too, but you make 3 changes. It must be very pleasing to see those 3 just slot in and have very strong games. Yeah, it was important because, I didn't want to make too many changes today. I think it's important we get some sort of cohesion moving into Thursday, but guys like Destiny and Mickey, it was important today sort of get a full recovery after a big game Thursday night. But the guys coming in did really well. Look, we're going to need the squad. We've got them back now, which is great. We know European games are really demanding, and we're going to need everyone ready to go.
You spoke about that fluency in the final third against Chelsea. What did you like about the first half performance and the way the team were
a lot
creating
better.
chances?
Yeah, we were just a lot more disciplined in terms of making the runs that we need to make, but then honouring those runs. I thought Thursday night we just too many times we turned down passes to runners, and when we play at our best and we're really threatening is we respect the run and we play the ball, and then we kind of move up as a team. And like I said, there was multiple times in the first half where we got in behind them, got into good areas, got balls in the box, whether we won corners, like I said, Ramsdale made some good saves, and we got 2 good goals out of it. 2
goals, won the penalty. What did you think of Brennan Johnson's performance today?
Brennan was great. Look, he's always a goal threat, and he's really important to us. And he's really important to us when we play that kind of football that we did in the first half. He's just so disciplined in always being in the right areas, always making sure that he's constantly in the areas we need him to be. And sometimes I feel like we kind of let him down by not being disciplined with our football in the front third, and because he's always there. And really pleased for him. I thought he was great today.
It's such an interesting position before Frankfurt now, Ange, because Wilson Odobert scored 2 out there against RZ. I imagine it's nice to have those options now.
Well, we're going to need them, as I said. We're not going to be able to sort of overcome, Frankfurt with 11 players. We're going to need a squad, and that's what we've got at the moment. And guys got to be ready. I thought today, Wilson and in particular took a little while to get going, and it's a lesson for all the guys, especially the younger ones, that you got to be ready to come on and make an impact. Make sure that you prepare yourself, because as we saw at the end there, he sort of came to life in the last 10 minutes. He helped us, with the penalty we got, and by being aggressive on the press. And all the players are going to be important.
How are you feeling about Thursday?
Yeah, looking forward to it. I think today was important. Obviously, we've been going through a tough trot just to get a win and get some goals and sort of get some positivity around the place. But I think irrespective, it's a massive game for us, and the fact that it's here at home is exciting. Looking forward to it.
How do you go about making the decisions? It's such a big game. There'll be so many players now that you've got a near fully fit squad that'd be desperate to be a part of it. When do you make the call on who'll be in your 11?
We'll see. We'll make the call sort of as the week goes along. But I hope they're all ready, because whether you play 95 minutes or you play 5 minutes, they're all going to be important. Every minute of European football is important. So. The important thing is not kind of the decisions I make about who starts. The important thing is that they're all ready to play their part.
And was it, apart from a slight nervousness towards the end, Southampton scored, was that almost like the perfect performance, occasion for your team with Thursday on the horizon?
Yeah, to a certain extent. I was really happy with the first half. I thought the first half we were really disciplined, well organised. We sort of limited them to one chance, and I thought every time we went forward we looked dangerous. We looked threatening. It's probably as threatening as we've looked for quite a while. Really fluent. Obviously scored 2 goals, had one disallowed. Aaron's pulled off some good saves, and really pleased. Second half, not so much. I thought we became way too passive without the ball. We allowed sort of Southampton to get a little bit of a rhythm, and then we're really sloppy with the ball. And even the substitutions that we made didn't really make the impact I wanted to. So, which, as you said, allows them to sort of get a goal there. And so, that was disappointing. It's something we need to improve on. But overall, I think the important thing is we got the win. We scored 3 goals. Everyone got through unscathed, and ready for a big night Thursday.
I hate to bring it up, the VAR stuff again. 5 minutes, I think that decision was. How pleased are you that next week semi-automated offsides are coming in? Do you think that will speed up the process?
Oh, I got no idea, mate. So that's the assumption. But again, if you had told me years ago that we were just spending 5 minutes during a football game just standing around, I would never have believed you. But everyone loves it. Everyone wants it. Everyone is delighted by it. It's working so well. We're getting all decisions right. So who am I to complain about it?
Final for me was James Maddison's performance. Without the ball, he looks better than I've seen him for a long time. Real intensity. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I thought so. Like I said, especially in the first half, I thought all the players, really embraced both, their attacking and defensive roles, and we need to take that into Europe. We know European football, every moment of the game is important, and I thought Matters was really good with the ball, but like I said, I thought he was really disciplined without the ball. Like I said, first half, I was really pleased with the lads. It can be a game where you can go out there and sort of try and urge yourself to, or try and rush to victory, but I thought there was a real controlled way we went about it without it sort of diminishing the intensity we want to play. But like I said, second half that wasn't the case, so we need to improve.
And when you were waiting for 5 minutes for this VAR, we were watching you sort of present the football and rock, paper, scissors. Does that sum up how it always feels like it's not luck, or how?
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, they draw those lines. Is anyone convinced by those? I mean, and this is not a slight on anyone. I don't think it favours us or not favour us, but the fact that we're waiting 5 minutes for something, I don't think that's what technology was brought in for. I really don't. I think, but it's gone too far down the road for anyone to claw it back. But, we used to allow the assistants to make those decisions, and we all accepted them. There was one midweek with Chelsea. If they had paid that, I wouldn't have been complaining. I would have said, "Oh, he was a toenail offside," because I've had that my whole career. Sometimes offside was never meant to be, sort of microscopically judged. But if they ever get to a place where that's done instantaneously, then I accept it. Because offside is offside. But I just can't believe that this is what we brought it in for, to stand around for 5 minutes for something that in the end I still think is, in my view anyway, inconclusive. Now, like I said, the semi-automated will come in and, say it's going to hopefully improve and speed up the process, but I didn't think there was a crying need for the game of football to be disrupted like this, but it has been. And like I said, as I keep saying, that the overwhelming majority of voices are in favour of it. So that kind of means it's very hard to stem that tide.
Brennan Johnson, his numbers are really good. It feels like there are lots of games where he isn't quite the same impact. How do you get him to become, obviously always scoring with much of a goal, a bit more consistent?
It's just it's tough. But I think that whenever Brendan plays, he's always a goal threat, and he's been really good for us in terms of goals, and whilst I don't rank them highly, even his assists are important to us today. He won the penalty, so he's really important for us in the way we play. I don't think he's been inconsistent this year. I just think that the disruptions we've had in the team and the inability to get some real cohesion within the group has sort of disrupted everyone's season. But great for him today. I was really pleased with him. Not just his goals, his general work rate, his general play was really good, and he's important for us because, as a wide player, there aren't many around that they're a constant goal threat like he is, and I'm really pleased for him today.
Just finally, the goal you conceded, you caught out the back sticks the first time since that was the Ipswich goal as well.
Yeah.
Is that a concern, those particular type of goals?
Yeah, to a certain extent, but it's more sort of how we got to that point. Like I said, if you allow the opposition, to kind of get into a rhythm, and they're going to find those kind of opportunities, whereas in the first half we never really allowed it. I think, like I said, they did have the one, but aside from that, we hardly let them into our half. Whereas in the second half, well, we just sort of sat back. Now, maybe the guys were thinking about Thursday, but I just don't think you can play that way. And it was disappointing to concede because, again, in Europe, every goal is important. The ones you score and the ones you concede, count for a lot more in terms of, the outcome of a tie. So it was disappointing to concede a goal today, but more disappointing, I think, was the way we went about it in the second half.
With Brennan, it feels like he's lacked a little bit of confidence over the last couple of months. What does that for his confidence? And I guess today you would have wanted players to go out there and show what they deserve to play first.
Yeah. Look, like I said, I think with Brendan, he's always in the areas we need him to be. He's probably one of the most disciplined players we have in terms of making sure that he's always in the right positions, and that's why he gets his goals. And like I said, there's been times this year where I think his form suffered because of the team more than anything else. I think when we played like we did in the first half, Brendan becomes a real, important player for us because, we were a constant threat. We were always breaking lines. We were making half-space runs. We were, respecting those runs. We were getting balls into the box in the areas we need to. And, like I said, every time we went forward, we looked like scoring. So, if we do that, then I think it's not a matter of confidence for Brendan. It just gives him more of those opportunities because the one thing about him is he'll always be in those positions. So it's up to us to sort of match his discipline in that. Yeah, Destiny and Mickey are fine. Obviously, they've missed a lot of football this year, so it made sense for us to kind of, sort of put them on ice today. And Richie's good, yeah. I mean, we've kind of done this with a few of the boys now who are coming back, sort of getting involved in match day and possibility of him getting a run today. But I think when they're involved in match day, it kind of gets rid of a lot of the nerves when you're coming back from, or anxiety when you're coming back from, a long time out. And it's great to have him back. He'll get another sort of few days of training, and no doubt he'll play a part from now on.
Just how big a moment was that for
Yeah, good for him to get a goal. Again, the guys coming on are really important. I thought Wilson today, he didn't look ready when he came on, and he sort of only came to life sort of in the last sort of 10-15 minutes. But sometimes these guys coming on are going to be really vital for us in the Europe, because that the ties are going to be pretty intense, and we're going to have to make changes, and those changes are not going to be just to because players are not performing. It just might be because we need that extra energy, and guys like Matisse and Wilson, they're young guys, and we're going to need them. They have the quality for sure. But, I think we're going to need guys coming on. I thought Archie and Biss, when they came on, sort of helped us a bit in terms of just, getting a bit more control of the game. But for all those guys, it's vital that, now we've got a healthy squad that guys are ready to play.
I suppose your first goal, the pass from Romero to start off with was excellent. I suppose you kind of missed that in his absence as well. But how encouraging was the whole play, even just on what's playing?
Yeah, no, it was a goal that's kind of we've done a number of times. We haven't done consistently, and but I think that was, like I said, in the first half, I think we had many of those moments, and with Christian back there and with Ben and when Mickey plays, we've got centre-backs who are comfortable on the ball, can find the right pass, give us some really good solutions, and then it's about making sure the guys further up, find the right spaces. And I thought in the first half we did that a lot, and it was an excellent team goal from start to finish. And I think, that was just a byproduct of us really being disciplined in our football in our first sort of 52 minutes.
You mentioned about I think some of it with physicality, obviously, almost from Sweden and stuff, but it seemed like back to himself today.
Yeah, look, he looked a bit, he looked a little bit leggy on Thursday night, but I thought it was important him sort of get that out of his system. He hadn't played because he didn't play in internationals, for 2.5 weeks, and he hardly trained. But with Thursday in mind, I thought getting him 60 minutes on Thursday and getting him another good sort of blocker, he looked a lot better today. He looked back to himself, physically stronger, and like I said, in the first half, I thought the midfield three, Rodri, Lucas and Matters, were really, really good defensively, but also when we had the ball, really strong, and I thought they worked well together.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.